evening is very special to us here at Solis Mammography. We are here tonight celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it's even more special to us because we are celebrating it and kicking it off with our EveryWoman campaign and its premiere.
Girls Day, we're going to have our mammograms together. Bring your daughters along. Encourage them to attend things like this. And when we see things on television with our young children, our young girls or boys, this campaign again has given a voice, has personified the mission of the company, and also from a wellness perspective made it a part of that total health conversation.
And I was given the opportunity to participate in the kind of storytelling that could really change lives and maybe even save lives. I definitely wanted to do that, and I'm kind of in awe of the storytelling that has emerged from all of these women.
We're here to save people's lives.
Messages that we have absorbed over the past decade or so about breast health has really been mired in fear, which I've stayed away from because I don't want to focus on cancer, therefore I'm not going to go get a mammogram. But I do want to focus on health and wellness and self-care, and praise God for the smart curve because I'll know go get them regularly.
Starting the conversation early. So we talk about, dental health and, for little girls, having your annuals at a certain age.
Right.
But when we open the conversation about breasts, accepting who we are, monthly exams, as soon as you have breasts, if you feel something different, tell someone, have an open household to, it's a part of your total health. And that's one thing. I have 2 young girls, and until I joined this campaign, it wasn't a monthly conversation. Hey, did you do this? So I think this campaign, again, has given a voice, has personified the mission of the company, and also, from a wellness perspective, made it a part of that total health conversation, not just, those girls.
I completely agree that you have to have those conversations with the young people in your family, younger and younger. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer initially, first thing I did was bring my daughter in the room and say, I want you to feel this. Because I want you to recognize it should this happen to you. Because as we said, knowledge is power, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I didn't do anything wrong. Some things, these things happen, and this is going to empower her to take control of her own health at some point in her life as well. So, absolutely.
And you know your bodies. You
Right.
know your body
Yes.
better than anybody else does.
Yeah.
So to add on that, so my mom had a mammogram,
Yeah.
compliant, diligent, annual, perfect, clean. Fibrocystic 3 months later,
Yeah.
4 centimeter mass. Wasn't picked up on mammogram. She found it, self-breast exam.
Yeah. And it's because she felt confident in her own health that she could do those self-exams and then take action.
And it's important.
It's very important. So how do we do more to empower women of all ages and men too to take their own breast health in their own hands? What do we do other than standing up here, which is fantastic, but we all have to take this message home, right? So what do we do to help empower women, girls younger in their lives, that this is okay to discuss, that it's not just because you wear a shirt doesn't mean that we can't be honest about what's underneath the shirt?
I think it's a little bit easier for me probably than these ladies because of my personal experience. Because the people that have known me and loved me and I've touched their lives, they've seen it personally, so I'm able to have those conversations a little bit more organically. And I've been able to, my kids have always been in team sports, and so it's been an opportunity for me even through this campaign. Last year when this campaign came out, my daughter's volleyball coach came up to me and said, "Did I see you on social media?" He goes, "Do you have breast cancer?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And so he's like, "We want to do a pink out night." And it created a conversation that was different than I would have been able to have in the past. And I've been able to have a little bit more impact with younger people than I would have ever thought of in the past. So that's been my blessing out of it.
And when people come up and ask you about it, are you like, no, I don't really want to talk about it, or do you speak openly about it?
Well, I'm a pretty open person. I don't mind talking about me or anything else. So I really love telling my story.
That's important. It's important.
I will definitely say prior to this campaign, I very likely never spoke about my breast. And it is not something I enjoy doing, and I have said breast more this evening. And something else that this campaign did for me is that because I don't really like talking about things that are vulnerable and personal, it invited me into that space. And if I'm not willing to have vulnerable conversations with people, then I'm certainly not going to be a model of empowerment for them to do that. So the mammogram experience was super positive, and in many ways, this experience has made me feel a lot braver.
Number one, it personifies the mission of the company that I work for. But beyond that, when you look at the statistics of the incidence of breast cancer, and then you look at the mortality rate, there's a higher mortality rate for African American women in comparison to white women. So for me, being an active participant, when you know that, when you have knowledge about something, to stand still would not be the right thing to do. So for me, it was personal, and I brought along friends to join me on the journey. So.
And have you talked to them about breast health?
Absolutely, and I feel like I'm more armed, working at Solis. Having a team of team members who can inform you about the mission of the company, the findings, the partnerships, the research. So the more I learn, the more I share. And we've just started new traditions as a small group of girlfriends and as a new small group of girlfriends.
Do I want to know what those new traditions are? Another time. Has it changed anyone else's perception?
I think for me, so I know that I don't know out of the three, I don't know how many of my three are watching, but I do know that my youngest, who plays basketball in college, she called me tonight, she said, hey, we're having team dinner tonight, and we're actually going to watch. So there's a team of 12 to 15 young women who are in college with their new coach. I said, please don't call in with any crazy questions.
But hopefully they know that they should be doing those breast exams starting as soon as you have breasts.
Yeah, and if you have, if they are on, you've got a group of young women who are 18 to 22 years old who are now engaging in that dialogue.
Yeah.
That it's making it a normal conversation, because we should all be comfortable with our bodies.
So let's talk about body self-image and how that plays a role into making sure that we have good breast health, and we have this conversation as well. We were talking about that behind the scenes.
Well, I have a lot more awareness about my body in general now than I had before. I would say that I was not real good about taking care of myself before.
Really?
I'm kind of a hippie by nature and kind of just living naturally by nature and just living in the moment. And this has made me more conscientious about a lot of things, even washing my face. So it's made me a lot more aware, and it's made the conversation a lot more easier for me, not only with my family, but friends. And I think I'm probably, most certainly, a lot more healthy now than I've ever been in my life as a result of having had this experience.
Good for you. Good for you.
I think there's a lot more awareness in society today about body positivity. I mean, there just is.
Yeah.
Not that I would agree that social media with our younger generation portrays the right messaging around body positivity, but I think you get to a point where I'm more comfortable with who I am in the last 3 to 5 years. I mean, I'm 52 years old, and I feel more comfortable today with who I am and the shape that I am. And just with how I look and how I feel. I have fibromyalgia, so self-care to me is extremely important. I listen to what my body's doing. I have to be mindful of what I'm doing. But for my kids, and I think as we were chatting earlier, I'm large-breasted, and my girls are not. And they're always like, Mom, I wish I had what you had. I'm like, okay, let's get real. You have to be comfortable and confident internally. Be comfortable with who you are, and part of body positivity is taking care of what you have because the longevity of how you're going to live your life from what I say, eye to toes, is going to carry you through your life. So you have to be able to be mindful of what you have and what you're blessed with, and it doesn't matter that, don't think you have to have more than what you were given. And it's hard nowadays for them. It really is. And in imaging, you see a lot. But
You've probably seen a lot of girls.
Yeah. But it's, so there's this constant battle. So I just, to be confident and really be mindful of, I feel great, and body positivity is a huge, it's just an important messaging of how self-care ties into breast health, and I feel really good about who I am with that.